Hello and welcome to Babbles Travelling Yarns. I'm Grace and I'm the host of the podcast. This is a knitting, spinning and weaving podcast. It's kind of all the fibre crafts, and I'm based in Limerick in Ireland. This is Mr. Beans and I closed the door to stop the orange light coming in. It's getting quite dark here in the mornings. Well, in general. This is Mr. Beans. He's wet. Why are you so wet? Oh, he was outside. It started to rain. It is the 9th, we'll say the 9th, or the 8th I think, the 8th of September. And today is Perth Yarn Fest Day and I'm not there. I'm sorry, Eva. But anyway, it didn't work out this year. Hopefully I'll get to go next year. So, Mr. Beans is wet because he was outside because it's raining. Oh, look at those eyes. I know, it's so sad. So off you go, Mr. Beans. There you go. No, so, this week I have been doing weaving. In case you haven't been catching up with me on Instagram, I've been weaving quite a lot. This is my beautiful Remembrances pottery mug. And oh, it's beautiful. I'm just drinking some lovely David's tea that was sent to me by my friend Carmen in I think it was you, Carmen, in her wonderful advent calendar package. I think it's berry fresh or something like that. Really nice anyway. So I've been doing a lot of weaving and a lot of spinning. I have been knitting in work, and I've actually gone quite far on my project, but I haven't got anything super new to show you. I'm going to talk a little bit about my whips first, and then a big semi-FO. We'll get on to that in a minute. So the first thing I want to show you is this beautiful hat, which I am working on. It is the Antler Toque by Tin Can Knits, and this is with the Moon and Sixpence naturally dyed yarn. It's dyed with avocados, with avocado pits. You get this beautiful soft dusky pink. So pretty. So this is a double brim hat. So I cast it on here and knit the brim about 5 to 6 inches long, then folded it over and picked up the stitches of that cast on edge and just knit them together. So I got this beautiful squishy double brim. And then I started the cable pattern. Now somehow I managed to get the count all off, even though it doesn't really make sense, but I'm not surprised with me. So I do have one layer here with more stitches. I think this one here has 6 purl bumps instead of 5 and all the rest of it. So oh well. But it is I can't remember if it's a free pattern or not, but it's a Tin Can Knits pattern, and this is the largest size. And in case you haven't noticed, it's not super large. So yeah, I would just be cautious if I was going to get it and you have an even larger head than me or lots of hair. I have a pretty big head, but like not the biggest in the world, but it is really, really cute and pretty. I think I'm almost there. It says to knit 9 repeats of the thing, but I think I'm at like 7, and I think I'm pretty much there. I don't know if I want to go any more because I don't want it to be a floopy hat because it's kind of tight. So I think I'm pretty much done. I just need to start having a look at the decreases now, I think. We'll see how we go because I don't want it to be too small again, and I don't want to have to rip it out again. But the yarn is beautiful. It is by the Moon and Sixpence Annie. She's an Irish indie dyer, and it's just, I really wanted to use all of it as well, which is why I also did the double brim. So it's DK or Aaron. Oh, I can't remember if it's Aaron Waite or DK. I think it's DK, which might be why it's a bit smaller than normal, but that's all right. So it's super pretty. These cables are so fast to knit as well. They're really satisfying to knit. They're beautiful, beautiful little pattern. And I have it in a beautiful bag that was given to me by Carmen as well. I love this type of bag. It has lots of little pockets inside, and I think it's from Zunkow. I've seen them quite a lot on Instagram. Like they're advertising on Instagram, and I don't know whether it's just that I've tagged it once, but you can fold it down and they have little pockets there for your bits and bobs. And I've just got, I don't know, a needle gauge, a ruler and a spare pen and a spare set of needles just to try out for trying on stuff. I always tend to have one in my bag, a spare set of like long cables, so I can move the cables on, like half of the stitches on, and then I can try something on just to check that I'm doing the right size, especially if I've done the wrong size already. So that is my antler toque, damn it, antler hat. It's the antler hat by Tin Can Knits, and I am so close to finishing that. So that's kind of all I've been knitting on. I've just been taking it into work. It's the most portable craft I have. So I suppose the big thing that I finished this week was when I was working a night shift on Tuesday night, and I came home and I was wired. I was so close to finishing my gradient weave that I was speaking about last week. So let me show you. I finished it and I'm still kind of exhausted from finishing it. So this is my huge gradient weave woven fabric. Now, okay, so there's several finishing points to this. First off, I spun all of the yarn. I spun 200 grams for the warp, which is up and down. I spun this gradient out of Irish Fairy Tale Yarns gradient spirals. I think it was BFL and silk, and then the other one was BFL, or it was a wool bamboo blend as well. So you can see the white little parts here, that's the bamboo, and then when you come over to this side you see a little bit less of that, but you can still see a little bit of it. But yeah, so I'm absolutely in love with this. I couldn't stop photographing it. It's so beautiful. So the whole thing is 14.5 foot long and a foot and about 2 inches wide. I think it's about only a foot wide maybe. So the gradient, as you can see, the warp is the ends here. So it's a lot brighter than the actual fabric. The fabric, what I used to go across the way, you can see it on the edge there. It's a bright blue, and I hand spun that as well. That was a John Arbin a top, and I can't be sure what color that was. I thought it was blue spruce, but then someone said it could be a new color called woad, because blue spruce on the website looks a bit more green, and I'm like, I get that. But just put it down so I don't have to hold it up for forever, because it's quite a lot of fabric. So in total, this whole piece of fabric, this is now folded in four times. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this whole piece of fabric took 450 grams. 450 grams of yarn, and I think I'm going to get a dress out of it. That's my hope anyway. So what I'm going to do is, I'll fold it properly. So my first finish of this project was, of course, spinning the yarn, and I spun those 2 gradients, and then that was a couple of months ago, and then I spun this up, and the rest of this is the warp, the John Arbin top, and this is 50 grams left, and I bought 300 grams, so I used 250 grams for 200 grams of the warp, so a little bit more, that's fine. And yeah, so next step is, so yeah, I finished the spinning, and then I finished the weaving, and now I've got to sew it all together and turn it into something. So I previously bought a little booklet from Sarah Howard of Get Weaving on Etsy.com. I'll pop the links down below in the show notes. And she has a couple of lovely patterns, and I saw one of them and I really want to make it. So this piece of fabric is folded 4 times. So the front, if I have enough for a left front, a right front, and then a left back and a right back. So I actually have enough for a skirt to go down to my knees. My knees is here. My knees are here. So I think I'm going to have enough to make a really simple shift skirt, and I'm going to cut the pattern pieces really simple. You basically just cut, you cut your piece, you cut it into 4, which I'm scared about, but it's fine, I've done it before. You cut your weaving into 4 exact pieces, and then you cut out a lower scoop for the neck, and a lower kind of, you just need a little bit of an angle for the shoulders, and then a smaller scoop for the back of the neck. Now I have another plan, which I'm half thinking of doing with the rest of this, and maybe a white. I've got that beautiful white silky stuff, which I got off them up in Yarn Folk as well. I was thinking about spinning a band, or an actual band to go around the neckline, and I could spin a yarn. This is alpaca and silk, and it is so soft. Oh, it's like a cloud. So I could use that, and maybe even this, some of this, which is another one of theirs. I don't know what it is exactly. I think it's maybe called Atlantis. So I'm thinking of spinning just a small amount of each of these to do some inkle loom weaving or some card weaving. And what that is it gives you a band of, what would you call it? What's it called? I'm not a sewist, you see. But it would basically be a band that you would line, you would show the lining. What's it called? Bias binding, like bias binding. I think that would be awesome to do that, and then I could have some on the sleeves as well, depending on how much I made. I'm going up to, so I was recently up in Belfast to go to Yarn Folk, which is where I bought all of that beautiful stuff from John Arbin. And I met this man. We went on the Game of Thrones tour, and I met this man called Thorne, and he was doing the Game of Thrones tour. He was an extra, but he also does medieval reenactments. And he put me on to a lady called Nancy Devlin, who is up in Leitrim. And I contacted her and I asked her, would she, I was watching her, and she sells these gorgeous braids, or in Ireland they're called krisses, or Chris kind of belt, and it's a really traditional style of just a belt, and it's woven very, very intricate, beautiful. I'll put up some of the pictures what she has here, just so you can see what's available on her Etsy shop. But she does courses as well, and for the day it's 60 euros for the day, and you go up and you spend the day weaving, and you should get a woven band out of the day. She can take up to 4 people at a time, and you contact her to kind of organize what times are reasonable. I think she also has an option to stay overnight as well, in like an Airbnb situation. So if you're interested, I'll pop the details down below on where you can find her on her Facebook page. Her Facebook page is fantastic. It's really active. So that's what I kind of want to do for like the finishing details on this. So anyway, that's kind of an aside, because I'm still not finished talking about how I finished this. So I put up a ton of lovely videos, which I really love doing, and I've never gotten such a huge response from just spamming my Instagram feed with this, because I mean, I get it though, it's such a beautiful color, and it's just, oh, it feels like real fabric now. So I have, I took it off. I might put up a little video of me weaving the, or sewing in the hem stitch, because I think people found that really mesmerizing and interesting. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to do that. And then, yeah, and then I pulled it off, and I'll show you the whole length of it with Mr. Beans as an example. Isn't he such a good model? Oh, he's so cute. So then I needed to finish it. So I went through a method called fulling. So fulling is essentially kind of semi-felting something, and you can do it when you're spinning singles as well. So what you need to do is set the twist in a single, and what you need to do for this is actually close up the holes. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there is you can see slightly that there is a little bit of, you can see through a little bit there. You see that? You can see a little bit through. Not too bad. But before it was fulled, you could really see through it. Do you know what I mean? It came off the loom, and the loom it's highly tensioned on the loom, and it shrunk a tiny bit. And then when I fulled it, so it shrunk a little bit more, but actually it kind of just sealed in place. So all those little holes filled up with fuzz, and it's a much more structured, secure fabric. So how to full? So you get a basin of super hot water, as hot as you can stand it, and a basin of really cold water, and you put a bit of soap into the hot one. Well, I put a bit of soap, kind of Eucalan into the hot one, and I basically popped the whole thing in the hot one, moved it around like quite aggressively, not super like, I didn't wring it or anything, but I just put it in and kind of pushed it down and shook it a little bit like that, and then I put it into the cold water directly, like, and they always say never to do that. So if you don't want anything to felt. So you need 3 things for felting. You need heat, you need movement, and you need soap or detergent. So heat, agitation or movement, and detergent. So if you want to avoid felting, you can use 2 of those things but not 3. You know what I mean? So try and avoid movement if you're in hot soapy water, or try and avoid soap or heat if you're moving it around and rinsing it, you know what I mean? So yeah, but I wanted to felt this a little bit, so I basically went back and forth through the hot, from the hot to the cold, hot to the cold, and shaking it in each one for just about a minute or probably 30 seconds, and then I let it soak then. And then I took it out and put it into my spin dryer, my top loading spin dryer, and hung it out, and I had so much fun taking photos. Oh. So now it is a little bit less silky. It was a lot more silky when I was taking pictures of it. Now it's a lot less silky because it actually has fuzzed up a little bit. But I wanted that because I want the fabric not to be silky, because if it's silky it'll move around. The actual the weft and stuff, it'll move around. If I get something caught in it and pull it, it could move. But now that it's fulled, it shouldn't move too much. I mean, if one of these is pulled really hard, it probably will pucker up like a drawstring. So I want to, I don't know what to do with the ends here. I might twist them. I haven't twisted them. I haven't done anything with them. I've just sewn them. So we'll see. I might do that. They're twisting on their own, you can see. There's a little bit of active twist there, which is grand. But if I'm going to be cutting it up, there's no point in spending all that time twisting the edges. And I don't know if I'm going to be keeping the edges, because I kind of want this to be not a fringed garment, I don't think. Because if I wanted a fringed garment, I would almost want fringe on the front and the back, but I only have the fringes on 2 ends and not 4. And I don't have enough left to make fringes on the back, you know what I mean? So I don't just want the fringes on the front. If I was gonna, you know, I want to make a garment like that, and it's going to be a dress as well, so I don't think, also having a cat around with this as a dress would be just a recipe for disaster, so that's not going to happen, and they're just going to be hemmed probably, yeah, which just means cutting off, turning up and sewing. So yes, that is my beautiful wrap. There's a lot of it. And so pretty. So you can see you can tell the difference between the warp. Weaving saddens your colours a little bit. It makes them more homogeneous, and it gives a subtlety to your colours. It really makes them kind of, you know, these super bright colours. Makes them a little bit more wearable for me, you know. I really love it, actually. I love the differences. It's like Peg Sayers. Has anyone ever read Peg Sayers? Ye oldie Irish woman. She's in all of the Irish textbooks when you had to learn your Irish language. It was all about how sad it was living on the island life with nobody but sheep and ghosts, because they'd all left for America. Oh, yeah, so cute. Oh my god, it's so nice. I'm so excited to wear this as a garment, and I'm wondering, will I just try and do it myself, because I really want to wear this now. So yeah, it's just so beautiful. I will miss those fringes. I might use them for something. Maybe I could have enough to make pockets. I don't think I do. I wouldn't. I'm quite a tall person, so I don't want to. I just had this amazing thought. The bits I cut out for the shoulders, could they be little pocketses? And use every scrap, you know? So pretty! Now, I think I'm just going to wear this like this. I think this is how, like, Jedis used to make their clothes, you know? That's what I like to think, anyway. So you'd weave a whole long big strip, and then you have, like, just bits coming over. Because it used to be, there's a one big loop at the back. If you ever watch Star Wars, right? There's one big loop at the back. So it's actually just one big long continuous piece of fabric. Jedis! And then you get your belt and you tie it across the belt. So you either go like this or you cross it right over. I'm a Jedi! I could totally work, you guys. Now I'm a Jedi. But you knew that already. I'm gonna wear it like this. Isn't it cute? Oh, look at the little cat sleeves. That's what they're kind of going to be like, I think. Or maybe a little bit shorter, because the neck is going to be cut in. A little bit shorter. With a little bit of a thing happening here. Cute. Cute. Now, so what else have I been doing? So I finished my warp, and then I had knit night, and I decided, oh yeah, I'll bring all my stuff to knit night, but I didn't really know what to get, you know, what to do at knit night. I brought loads of things. But we had a couple of people spinning at knit night at the Knit and Spin, Limerick Knit and Spin, which I hold the first Saturday of every month and the third Thursday of every month, and it's on meetup.com if anyone's interested. So I have been spinning up some of my Hello Yarn Club fibre called Ships, Whales and Icebergs, and I didn't want to bring my whole wheel, so I brought the rest of the braid to split up, because I'm doing a fractal ply, which means that this is one half of the braid that I split down the middle, and I'm spinning that straight from the top. So you get big, long repeats of the whole skein. But I also want to get lots of different types of colours. So what I did was I got the braid, the rest of the other side of the braid, and I split them into small little strips of pencil roving. So yeah, and I decided to spin one of those in a new method that I'm obsessed with, called Ply on the Fly. So ply on the fly, if you can see that, I'm going to just turn this around. This is the better camera on the back of the phone. So if you can see there, this is all plied. And I'm but it's coming from a single. How is that possible? How is it possible, I ask you, you say to me. So what happens is, I'll just do a little demonstration so you can see. Oh, excuse me, Jedi thing, get back up there. So I've got my loop there from the last, so I'm basically just Navajo plying. That's all I'm doing. So I'm spinning it clockwise, and I just need to get some more fibre. So I'm going to just do a little demonstrating on this one. So I'm just spinning clockwise, so I'm turning it towards me with my hand. Just pulling this out. So you've got to get a little bit on, you know, the spindle. So the idea is that you spin your single and then you wind it on around your bobbin, and then you do a Navajo ply on the spindle. So Navajo ply is basically a 3-ply from one skein, from one single, and it's essentially just you're spinning a crochet chain. So let me explain a little bit more to you. This might be a little bit of editing while I do this, but anyway. So I'm going to actually just take that off there. You have to maintain your loop, the last one. So I'm just going to twist it onto the top there. That's it. So now I am actually going to just do this small little bit so you can see. So it's only about 1 meter, so I'm going to ply this into 3s, which means I'm only going to get 1/3 of a meter of actual plied yarn. So I'm going to tuck it into my watch. I'm just going to take it off and put it onto my hands. So I'm going to go around my thumb and around my palm, around my thumb, back behind my palm, behind my thumb, behind my palm, behind my thumb, behind my palm. Okay, so I'm there now. I've just taken off some of that single, and I'm going to take out this loop. So this is the loop from the last time I finished my 3-ply. I've got my loop, and I'm just going to take my loop and pull the yarn through, then go again, pull my yarn through. Now there's no spinning happening at the moment, it's caught between my knees. Pull the yarn through, take my loop and pull the yarn through. So I'm going to maintain that last bit of a loop there. I'm going to keep that loop. And what I do now, so I've got my loop around my finger, and I'm holding the last end of the thread. You don't want to lose that. And then you spin it counterclockwise. So you were spinning your single towards you. Now you're going to spin your ply anti-clockwise, away from you. So you just spin it. And that's twisting up into a 3-ply. You can see there. This is my 3-ply with some bumps from the Navajo plying. But that's how you get ply on the fly. That's how you ply on a spindle. Well, 3-ply on a spindle anyway. Yeah, so that's what I've been playing with. Just a little bit of experimentation, really. And then you pop your single back onto your spindle, and I just pop it around the top there. I pop that little loop around the top so it's held, and then you can start spinning again clockwise. But I'm going to stop using this thread because I want to use it for my fractal ply instead. But I was just practicing on it and it was super fun, so I thought I'd show you what I'd learnt. And yeah, so it's quite cute. So let me show you what I want to try it on. I think this is going to be super exciting. Rainbow! So I'm definitely going to I'm going to split this down into maybe 3 or 4, no, probably about 5, hopefully 5 or 6. And I'm going to hopefully get a self-striping 3-ply yarn on the spindle on this. I think it's going to be so much fun. It would be nice to have a little portable mobile project as well for spinning, because I normally take knitting around, but I've really wanted to use this for ages. I got this in Spin City in Edinburgh at EYF 2017. No, maybe 18. Maybe 2018 actually. Yes, I think so. So much fun. I think 2018 was this year, like the last one that just went, was like the year of Edinburgh EYF rainbows. I got loads of rainbow stuff, which is totes fine. So that is my spinning. That's what I've been working on. Yeah, and then I've just been finishing off that last half of the braid there. So that's that. So that's all I can do today, because myself and James are going to go down to County Kerry for the weekend. So I just need to get the house ready for that. And I'm kind of tired from the week, so we're going to go down and chill out and maybe sleep a lot. I'm going to bring a few books. I'm going to bring my spindle, maybe do some plying. Yeah, so I hope you have a fabulous week. That's what's been going on in my life. Yay! And I hope Perth Yarn Festival goes well for everybody. Yay! So I love you lots, and I will see you on the flip side. Bye!